Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing something different today with the Ramen Toys Makina lamps Great White. I am so excited about this piece that I'm not even getting out of the car to do this. I'm just recording on the fly right as I get this to share with you guys. So please excuse the low light conditions. I'll also let you soak in the lovely artwork from Gary G while I yabber on about why we're doing this piece first. So first things first, this is not going to be a full-on detailed figure review because I think you guys have already seen a lot of great videos out there from other YouTubers on the pre-production samples and test shots, so you can already get a sense of all the transformation tiny details that you need to know. For me, this will be more about just taking a look at the accessories that come packed in, the figure that's packed in, and just the general condition of the vehicle itself. So the reason why I am so excited about this is because this technically, even though it's not a revisit or a second take on a figure that's already released, it is still a very, very nice homage to the M.A.S.K vehicle line. And I'm gonna admit right up front, I'm not the most avid M.A.S.K collector. I do know about some of the vehicles, and I've pretty much got the ones that I'm really interested in, but I never had the vintage Gloria Baker figure. And this, yes, of course I know it's Portia white, but she actually comes in the colorway with the M.A.S.K design that I actually like from the cartoon. Not to mention the vehicle itself, which is the version that's from the cartoon, which is very different from the vintage toy version that we got from Split Seconds, which is the Lamborghini. And I gotta say, I don't really like that transformation design at all. So this one, yes, it is first of its kind in the world. So I do want to say congrats to the Ramen Toys team and Ace for putting this out. No matter how this product turns out, I think the fact that we're actually getting it now to complete the collection is already a pretty amazing thing in its own. So first things first, the shipper box that comes in, I love that design with the little shark fin logo. And then you can take a quick look right here. On the back itself, it has all the lovely details laid out in painstaking effort. And then I'm just going to go into the contents of the box. So when you open up the box, ta-da! It's a really nice setup. Lovely presentation. So after you slip out the plastic tray and free all the contents from that plastic prison, this is what you actually get inside the box. The vehicle itself, and first thing again that catches my eye is that lovely shark logo templed on in the back right here. And then you get the comic illustration plus the instructions in the same pack, as well as finally a Gloria Baker, and I mean Portia white figure in my preferred colorway version. Comes with her helmet, the two side mirrors. I know you can't see it very clearly in the light here, but she does come with 4 missiles to be launched from the headlamps. You're just gonna have to take my word for it if you can't see the 4. I apologize for the lighting conditions, but I think that's great. In case you lose the 2, then you still have 2 spare ones. One thing that I thought might have been included but is not included, so if you guys have it different in your box, do let me know in the comments. There is no flight stand this time around, unlike the one that came with the red gull wing. But at the same time, I guess I'm not really expecting a stand either, since it's supposed to be a underwater vehicle. So doesn't bother me too much, but I thought you guys should know that. Okay, so with the Portia white figure, I love the fact that she comes with so much more articulation as compared to the vintage figures, and she moves in all the places that you've already seen from the other YouTube videos. I think what's really cool is that even though she doesn't have wrist joints, there's still enough articulation for her to actually do this, holding up the helmet above her head as if she's about to slip it on. Just maybe don't do it in the car like I did. I almost lost it to the dark hole of the universe in the corners of the car that you can't really reach. And I'm happy to report that as far as the joints go, the tightness of the joints all works really well. The head swapping is really straightforward too. And I do like the Aura M.A.S.K design much more than the Collider version that came with Stiletto. So for me, this is just perfect. And just for skill comparison, she scales pretty well with a vintage matte tracker. And I think she's just about slightly, just very slightly shorter than Vanessa Warfield. But yeah, still nothing to complain about this figure at all. Now for the vehicle itself, I have to say most of the pre-production issues have been addressed already. I'm really quite happy with how it functions as a vehicle. It rolls really well, as you can see. And then with the side mirrors that are included, the port fits in really snugly, very well. Show you guys. Does come with the shiny surface as well. And once you port it in, let's see, satisfying click as it goes in, and then once it goes in, it stays in very snugly. The doors are very snug as well. They don't drop out in any direction. The notches that are required to open it inside, they're very tiny, so if you don't have long fingernails, it might be a little bit of a struggle. But if you do struggle, don't try so hard to do it and you end up scratching. You can actually just gently push the top of the vehicle and you can see the door pops open, and that makes it a lot easier to just open it. And it's the same for both sides. And once you open it, you can also see on the inside, not sure if the lighting's gonna hold up, but all of the intricate detail that you saw in earlier pre-production samples, it's all there. It's all beautiful. The steering wheel does not turn, so that's mentioned very clearly in the instruction sheets, so don't try and do that, otherwise you're gonna end up breaking something. Let's see, what else can I show you? So I'll mention a couple of things to look out for in the submarine weapons mode later, but otherwise I think just in the regular vehicle mode, I'm really happy with it as it stands. And in the submarine weapons mode, I think I'm really happy with just about every component of it, because everything fits really well, as you can see. There are no gaps or loose parts or pieces anywhere at all. Tolerance is really very nicely adjusted, so everything works out really well. There are only a few points of caution I should sound out when you're doing it, just so you don't break or lose anything. One is the spring mechanisms for all of the wheels are really strong, So when you're adjusting or transforming them, just be really gentle and careful as you're doing it, because you don't really want to push the spring past its breaking point. But once you do get it into place, as you can see, it actually stays in snugly very well. No concerns at all whatsoever. The other thing is there are actually no markings on the fins that you have to put on to indicate whether they're left or right. So I think that would have been a nice thing to tempo on or to emboss so that it's easy to see, kind of like your headphones. But I don't think it's going to come across on camera, but the fins actually have a very marginal difference in the position of the peg. So there is actually only one way to fit it in, and so when you slide it in, if you've got the wrong side on, you will know very quickly, because then you'll see that there are actually gaps. But when you do it correctly, there's virtually no gap at all. So it's actually really nicely designed that way. The other thing is with the driver's seat, unfortunately, she's still not going to be able to reach the steering wheel, but even though you can actually slide the seat forward just a little bit, she's still not going to be able to reach it. But I think from a seating position wise, it's just a minor thing that I'm not too concerned about. Then everything else works out really well. Periscope sits on really nicely. These here, let me see if that flips. Oops, not getting it too well on camera. Oh, okay, got it. So here we go. Turns really pretty. Tail lights, all of the plastic adornments work out really well. One last thing to note: this is obviously a dangerous thing to do in a dark, confined space, but the spring component for the missile launch is actually really strong, and it does take a fair amount of effort to align it properly and slide it in. So my main advice would be, please don't do this in a place where you could easily lose this piece, because obviously it's translucent. It's going to be really hard to find in a dark place. The cool thing about it though is that you could actually fit in some of the Lego attachments for smoke trails and have a really cool mid-flight position kind of thing going for it. But yeah, otherwise really happy with this piece. As a final note, I think I do really want to say a big word of thanks to Ace and his team at Ramen Toys, because I think this vehicle shows how far they've come since the beginning. As you guys can see, I jumped in right from the early outset with the 80s Commanders. And I have to say, the quality of the releases at that time was not really up to my expectations. But I'm really happy and proud of what they've achieved with the Great White, just because I think it's reflective of just how much effort they've put into improving their final product. And I think it's a little bit sad if this was going to be the last release from Makina Labs in this particular scale, with the loyal subjects getting to take over the license instead next year. But I hope Ace and his team take heart from this and know that they've put out a really amazing product that I think a lot of people will be very happy with. If you've pre-ordered this, then you probably have already decided in your mind that you're gonna love it anyway. And if you haven't, I think hopefully this video will help you decide whether or not to put money down for it. Whether it's value for money, whether it's worth the price, I think that's going to be subjective to everybody. But me personally, I'm that Richard Harris character in Gladiator. At the beginning, when he sees Russell Crowe win the war, and he closes his eyes in peace, that's me right now. I'm literally able to die a happy person with this final piece added to my collection that I've been looking forward to and waiting for so long. So thanks a lot again, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you around.